You know that feeling when you have a song stuck in your head, but it doesn't actually exist? Well, today we're diving into Suno AI. It's this incredible tool that can take that little idea of yours and, poof, turn it into a full-blown track in just a few seconds. It's a piece of tech that's inspiring millions of people, but at the same time, it's kicking off a massive legal war that could totally redefine the future of music. So let's break down how this whole thing works. So, it all kicks off with something almost laughably simple. Just a few words, a vibe. You just type in a prompt, something like this: calm, psychedelic rock. That's it. No instruments, no music theory classes, just a simple idea.
And then, just like that, the AI gets to work. And I don't mean it just spits out a little melody or a simple beat. No, we're talking about the whole shebang. A complete song with vocals, lyrics, harmonies, the works. All of that from just 3 little words. So what exactly is this magic? Well, this is Suno AI. It's a generative AI program, and its whole goal is to make creating music as easy as typing out an email. Think about that. It's a tool that could potentially give 1 billion people the power to write songs. But, and this is a big but, it's also smack in the middle of a huge copyright lawsuit with the biggest names in the music industry.
Okay, so how does this magic trick actually work? I mean, how do you really get a fully formed song from a text prompt? Well, to understand that, we gotta meet the band. Suno's secret sauce is this super efficient 2-part AI system. So first up is Chirp. Think of Chirp as the band's multi-instrumentalist. It takes your prompt and it composes the entire musical world, the chords, the bass line, the drums, everything. Then Bark steps up to the mic. Bark is the singer. It analyzes the mood of Chirp's music and then just belts out a vocal performance with some surprisingly human-sounding emotion.
And you can totally see why this is taking off, right? If you're not a musician, suddenly you have a way to create something you never thought you could. And if you're a pro, well, it's an amazing tool for quickly sketching out ideas, maybe generating some royalty-free background music, or even finding a cool instrumental loop to build a whole new track on top of. It's like having an infinite jam partner that never gets sick of your ideas. But while millions of users were having a blast creating their own songs, the music industry was quietly preparing for a fight. This fun, accessible little tool was about to run headfirst into a massive legal wall.
And here's where things get really serious. In June of 2024, the absolute giants of music, we're talking Universal, Sony, and Warner, all teamed up and filed this huge lawsuit. Their argument is pretty simple, but it's explosive. They claim that for Suno to be this good, it must have illegally trained its AI on their copyrighted songs, all without permission and without paying a dime. And the stakes here? They are absolutely astronomical. The record labels are asking for up to $150,000 for each and every song they claim was used for training. Now just think about the millions of songs these companies own. The potential financial hit for Suno is just staggering. This timeline is wild because it shows you just how fast all of this blew up. Suno only launched its public app at the very end of 2023. Not even 6 months later, boom, the lawsuits hit. Then, by early 2025, you have thousands of artists signing letters in protest. And yet, just a few months after that, the first ever record deal for a creator who uses Suno gets signed. It's just this dizzying whirlwind of creativity, controversy, and cash. So, okay, the legal stuff is huge, but this whole thing also cracks open a much deeper, more fundamental question, one that gets right to the heart of what it even means to be an artist. And really, you've got 2 very different schools of thought here. On one side, you have the tech optimists. They see Suno as just another tool in the toolbox, like a synthesizer or a drum machine, something that just speeds things up and opens new creative doors. But on the other side, you've got a lot of artists and critics who are seriously worried. They feel it devalues human skill, threatens jobs, and creates music that, well, just feels soulless. And this quote from Suno CEO Michael Schulman really gets to the core of that divide. He's kind of suggesting that all the boring, tedious parts of making music should just be automated away. But you see, for so many musicians, that struggle, the happy accidents, the process itself, that is the joy of it. That's the whole point.
And let's be real, the technology itself isn't perfect, not by a long shot. Users have a lot of practical complaints. The sound quality can be a bit weird, with digital glitches. The AI sometimes completely butchers the pronunciation of lyrics or just spits out nonsense. The interface can be buggy. So the bottom line is, while the idea is incredibly powerful, the tech itself still has some very real growing pains. So all of this brings us to this critical crossroads. You've got this massive lawsuit hanging over everything, a creative community that's totally split. So what does the future actually hold for Suno and for AI music in general?
Well, first off, let's follow the money. As of 2024, Suno isn't some little startup working out of a garage. We're talking about a company that's valued at $500 million. They have the money to put up a very long, very expensive legal fight.
It's not just investor money. They have the people. Over 10 million people have already jumped on the platform and made songs. That shows there's a huge audience for this, a user base that is probably not going anywhere.
Now here's what's so interesting about their strategy. They're not just trying to steal a little piece of the streaming pie from Spotify or Apple Music. Their goal is way more disruptive. They're not just going after the people who listen to music, they're trying to unlock the billions of people who've always wanted to create music but never had the tools. They want to turn listeners into creators. So the final answer here might not even come from a courtroom. It might actually come from the government. Lawmakers are already stepping in with things like this proposed Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act. And what this bill would do is force companies like Suno to finally do the one thing they've refused to do: open up their books and show everyone exactly what copyrighted music they use to train their AI.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? When an AI can create a song that sounds like a masterpiece, who's the artist? Is it the person who typed in the prompt? Is it the AI itself? Or is it the company that built the AI? As this technology gets better and better, that line between being a director and a creator, between using a tool and being an artist, is only going to get blurrier. The song revolution is here, for sure. The rulebook, though, that's still being written.